For any parent thinking about what they're going to buy for their child this Christmas, I want this video to be a little reminder of how buying a device for your child might not necessarily be the best idea. I do often feel conflicted when it comes to technology because I'm one of the biggest advocates for technology when it's used effectively, creatively in school. Not because I think kids need more screen time, but because when tech is used effectively, creatively, it opens doors. It can help children explain ideas, to share their learning, to code, collaborate, and become genuine problem solvers. That is a side of tech I'll defend all day. But as we get closer to Christmas, I wouldn't encourage any other parent to buy a device for their child, because outside of school, this is where I think things are going wrong. Especially when you're seeing reports like this where nearly 800,000 children aged between 3 and 5 may already be using social media. You know, children who might not be able to zip up their coat properly or just let loose on these platforms where most adults are struggling to navigate them. And then LBC reported on the same story, sharing warnings from psychologists about the impact on sleep, attention issues, dysregulation, and exposure to content children should not see. You ask anyone who works in a school, we're feeling it. Kids arriving unfocused, overwhelmed, exhausted before you've even done the register. Quiet reading suddenly becomes boring when their brains are trained to just crave short form content designed to make them addicted. And it's not their fault. They're up against these billion-pound algorithms. And those algorithms, they're not harmless. I read this book over the summer called Careless People, a former Meta executive, where they were talking about how they'd sell this idea that if a young teen girl posts a picture on their social media and deletes it after 5-10 minutes, they use that data to then target them with makeup ads, with beauty products, with weight loss supplements, because they think them deleting that photo tells them that they're not feeling happy in themselves. If that's how they're treating teenagers, imagine the impact on a 5-year-old. Which is why I'm following what Australia are doing so closely and finding it really interesting. They've stopped dancing around this issue. From next year, platforms will be legally required to prevent under 16s from having social media accounts. That's a proper line in the sand. And honestly, I think we should do the same. Because when you look at the impact these apps are having on behaviour, attention and well-being, it feels irresponsible not to properly consider this. But let's be real, the UK government probably aren't. They've got too many issues going on. It's politically messy. The minute you mention banning social media from the 16s, you're going to get everyone going, calling them a nanny state, accusing the government of policing parenting. The enforcement is hard to do. This is why I'm interested in what Australia are going to do. Age verification, platform compliance, privacy concerns. They know they'd be criticised the second a 13-year-old slipped through the net. And let's be fair, the power these big tech companies have and their lobbying, it's enormous. These companies rely on engagement and data. A ban threatens that and they'll push back massively. And finally, you know, admitting social media is fueling behaviour and attention issues is admitting that there's a national problem. And once you do that, you've got to step up and fix it. And right now it's easier to just sort of go, let schools deal with this. So, you know, here we are. We've got tech, hopefully, and the way that I promote it, being used effectively in school to support learning. But outside of school, too many kids are being shaped to be addicted to this tech that erodes their ability to engage and to think. And I don't think tech itself is the enemy. It's this unbounded, addictive tech that is. And until we face that, the issues we're seeing in classrooms isn't going to get any better. And look, I'll keep doing everything I can to support schools to use technology in the right ways, to remove barriers, to help children demonstrate their learning. Tech isn't ever used to replace great teaching. It should just be used to amplify it when it's appropriate and purposeful. But for parents, any parents watching this Christmas, please don't give in to the pressure to buy a device because everyone else has one. And if your child already has one, have conversations, maybe start monitoring what they're doing on it, who they're talking to and what they're being exposed to. Kids need those boundaries, not endless scrolling. Because I think if we get the balance right, creative tech in school, protected childhood at home, I think we give children the best fighting chance, and that's what every one of us want.